Hey guys, thanks for tuning in again. My name is Krenat, and if you follow me on Instagram, you probably have seen that I got a couple of cool guitars from Ibanez. And in today's video, we're going to talk about the AS113. But before we get into it, let's hear it in a track that I made, and then we're going to talk about it. So, see you! Alright, so first of all, that track was completely made with this guitar only. Even the bass part was made by this guitar because I don't have a bass guitar, and I plugged it in straight into my interface, and I used Amplitube 5 for all the tones. So for example, the bass tone was an octave pedal with a bass amp. For the rhythm parts, I used some rotary effects, I used some choruses. And yeah, so the track was completely made with this guitar and Amplitube 5 alone. So if you want to download the track, I have it under the description down below. There's a Google Drive link where you can download it and use it as you will. I'm trying to make more backing tracks for all of my videos, but I'm probably going to get burnt out soon. So the next couple of videos are going to be with backing tracks. And if you like them, if you enjoy them, please let me know in the comment section down below. And maybe we can make this more of a regular thing, so to say. If you haven't, please consider subscribing if you like what I do. Leave a like, leave a comment on this video. It really helps me a lot. So with that all out of the way, let's talk about this beauty right here. So the guitar we have here is a new for 2022 ArtStar model, the AS113-BS, and BS standing for Brown Sunburst. And what this guitar represents, at least in my opinion, is like the highest end you could get out of or Ibanez could get out of their Indonesian factory. So you have appointments like ebony fretboard, a really nice piece of ebony. You get the ArtStar treatment of the fret edges. You get Super 58 pickups, the legendary pickups from Ibanez. And all in all, a solid build quality. And what's actually interesting is that as soon as I grabbed this guitar, and for that matter, any Ibanez, I actually feel right at home. And that's weird because I've never owned an Ibanez before. And I think that just speaks to the quality of instruments they provide. So to get it out of the way, the price of this guitar is around $1,000 or 900 euros something in Europe. And I think the quality that this guitar offers and just the amount of guitar for the money is unmatched. It comes with a really nice case, and as I said, the fret ends have the ArtStar treatment, which means the frets get treated exactly the same like the guitars you would see coming out of Japan from Ibanez. So that's a really big plus in my opinion, because the feel of the guitar and the playability are like the top priorities when it comes to building or just playing a guitar. Now, as a disclaimer, I did get these two guitars from Vinyl Distributions, which is the main distributor for Ibanez here in Europe. And one thing about them is I actually visited them a couple of months ago, and I saw their operation firsthand, and it was really, really impressive. So what they do for every Ibanez guitar is they get it out of the box as soon as they get them from Japan or Indonesia, and they actually have a big team that does QC on every single guitar. So first of all guitars are checked in Indonesia or Japan, of course, and after that, for the European market, mine does an awesome job just QCing everything, checking the intonation, the action, and the frets. They see if they're polished or not and all that. So really, really smooth operation, really like it. And if you're in Europe, you're in luck. So if you want an Ibanez and you're in Europe, you're gonna have a great one for sure. Before you click off, I have a really nice surprise coming by the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be awesome. So previously, I've done a review on the Ibanez GB10 EM, which is the George Benson model, And in that video, I mentioned how Ibanez used to be a pioneer when it comes to semi-hollow and hollow body guitars. So if you want to hear the story about that and like a uneducated story about Ibanez, go check out that video. You're going to get a lot more. And I'm going to link it here or here somewhere. Just click and you're going to find it. So the thing is, nowadays, people associate Ibanez guitars with shredders, pointed guitars, and all that, which is awesome. They do an awesome job with that, but in my opinion, I think they excel at these guitars. I mean, the semi-hollows and the hollow bodies. I love semi-hollows and hollow bodies, so of course I'm going to say that. And the thing is, as I said, the quality that these instruments have is unmatched. I mean, there's a little chance that you're going to play a bad Ibanez guitar. They feel awesome, they play awesome, and this one just makes me play faster lines, makes me want to create more intricate lines, so to say. And it just gives you that John Scofield vibe, you know? It's really, really awesome. I mean, Ibanez is really known for working with legends like John Scofield and Pat Metheny and George Benson. And recently they've gotten a lot of new artists. Like my favorite one is Josh Smith. So if Ibanez is good for Josh Smith or George Benson or all the names I mentioned, it's good for everyone. I love those guys and I could listen to their music all day, but it's not about them today, it's about this guitar. So let's jump to the specs, and after that we're gonna hear the guitar, all three pickups, through my pedal board, which is recently upgraded with the IK Multimedia Amplitube X Vibe pedal, which is just amazing and it has every modulation that you would ever need. And I'm recording it through my LCT 140 mic by Lewitt Audio with my Vox AC10 amp, and that's just like the perfect combination for this John Scofield tones. And also my voice is being recorded by the LCT 140 by Lewitt Audio. And yeah, that's my signal chain. So let's jump to the specs. So in my channel's fashion, we're gonna start from the headstock and move our way to the body. So first of all, we have this beautiful headstock finished in brown, and it has this awesome inlay in here. So you might notice that the truss rod cover is made out of wood, and it's not the plastic one that you can open with a pick. And I think that's a good choice for this, just to keep it classy. But I really like the convenience of that truss rod cover that they have for the other guitars. Now on the back here we have the tuners. They're Ibanez made tuners, and they work perfectly well. They're smooth to turn. Like there's no big jumps when you're tuning the guitar. I think they're awesome. I wouldn't change them, but if you like the convenience of locking tuners, you could do that as well. But yeah, they work perfectly, nothing to complain there. Now the nut here is made out of bone, and I think it's cut really well because of the fact that I think this is one of the best guitars to play down here. So it means that the nut is cut really well, really low, because I like my guitars to play easily down here, and I don't want them to go sharp when I play the notes here, because if the nut is cut high, meaning that the strings sit high on the nut, then you might have issues with intonating these chords that you play down here. So that's perfect. The one thing that I noticed is the G string. It did bind for the handful of times that I tuned the guitar, but after that it just went away. I mean, there's no binding happening right now, and the guitar stays in tune perfectly. So yeah, if you would have that issue, it's really easy to fix it. You just run a string through that a couple of times, or if you have nut files, that's even better, and that's going to eliminate the problem. But this one just did it itself. So I tuned it a couple of times and it just went away. So awesome job on the nut. As I said, one of the easiest guitars to play down here. That's awesome. So moving down, we have this beautiful fretboard made out of a nice piece of ebony. And yeah, there are a lot of guitars in this price range that might come with ebony boards, but some of them have these like pale kind of ebony boards, or they're just not treated at all. They're not conditioned and they look dry. But this one, I think this one looks amazing right out of the box. You know, I didn't condition it or do anything, but yeah, I mean, take care of your ebony and rosewood boards. They need conditioning just for them to look darker and just to be healthy, so to say. So this one came out of the box this way, and I find it to be awesome. I mean, you have the bling of these inlays. Some people hate them, some love them. I personally love them a lot because they just give you an awesome vibe, in my opinion. Very classy. And the fretwork, it's amazing. They advertise that this gets the same treatment as the guitars that are made in Japan, and I think this proves right, because it plays amazing. It feels really smooth. I did lower the action a little bit because I just like guitars to have lower action, and I only like lowered the bridge just a tiny bit. Didn't have any issues with that, and none of the frets choke out or anything like that, which is amazing. And yeah, it's like only the fretwork on this would cost a lot of money, would cost a lot of time, and time equals money. So someone did spend a lot of time polishing these frets and working on the round edges, which I find really amazing. And I mean, kudos to Ibanez for this. And just to clarify, Ibanez or any other brand that I've shown on my channel are not paying me to say these things. They don't get to review my videos before I publish them or anything like that. Like, all the opinions are mine and mine only. So the thing about my channel is I actually only review and show you pieces of gear that I like, that I enjoy. For example, these guitars, this one and that one, I really enjoyed. Dan knows that I like these guitars, and that's why he sent them to me. And if they weren't good, I wouldn't waste my time or your time showing you bad products. The thing about my channel is I want everything to be positive. I don't want negativity. There's a lot going on in the world, and I just don't want that on my channel. So if I don't like something, I'm not going to do a video about it. But if you see a product on my channel, it's probably gonna have get a positive review. Yeah, I will definitely show some flaws. There are guitars that I like but have some flaws, and those flaws are just not that big of a deal for me not to show you the guitar to you. So that's how it's gonna go. So yeah, I lost my train of thought there, but I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. So let's move on to the neck. Now the neck is a 3-piece neck. It's Nyato, maple Nyato. Very solid, and the neck shape is just perfect. Like, if you're like a guitar player that doesn't like baseball bat necks or very slim necks, this one is going to be perfect for you because it's just right in the middle, and I think it would feel comfortable for most players out there. And again, that feeling of being at home with this guitar, I think, comes from the neck shape and from the solid build quality that Ibanez has to offer. Now, moving to the body and the pickups and the rest of the hardware, it's really interesting because we don't see this wood combination very often in guitars like this, and I think this makes sense a lot. The guitar is made out of maple back and sides, so you can see they're very flamey and very beautiful, but the top is made out of spruce. And as you might know, most acoustic guitars are made out of spruce because that kind of wood just resonates better. And I think the spruce top on this one gives it that very bright and articulate sound that is really something that will help you cut through the mix. And I think it's awesome. You don't get a lot of flame because spruce is just like that. It's not known for its flammage, but I mean, it sounds great. I think it looks classy. And yeah, the F holes are very neatly done. They're also binded, and I mean, there's nothing to complain, honestly. The pickups, as I said, there are the legendary Super 58 pickups by Ibanez, and you can see those pickups being used in Japanese-made guitars and the John Scofield model, and they're just really articulate. They're vintage voiced, but they have a little bit more output to them, again, for that articulation that you want to get from this type of guitar. The pots feel really nice, very quality. You don't hear any cracking going on when you turn them. The switch works perfect. The tri-sound switch that we're going to talk about later is also solid, and I like these rubber rings that they have on top of the knobs here, so you just have complete control of what you're turning on your guitar. Now, classic combination, 2 volumes, 2 tones, 3-way switch, and the tri-sound switch right here is only for the neck pickup. So what it does is, if it's on the down position, meaning on the bridge pickup position, as I said, again, it's going to be confusing. I'm going to put a link under the description down below where you can check all the sounds. And like there's a graph that you can tell what's going on. But if it's on the down position, it means that the humbucker is wired as a regular humbucker would be. And in the middle position, it means that it's coil split, so you're going to get only the outer coil of the neck pickup. And the up position is the neck pickup wired in parallel, which gives you that honky tone that most people really find it useful. For example, Josh Smith uses a ton of guitars, like old guitars, to get that sound, to get that quacky sound. And if you're just playing and you want that sound, you just flip the switch and you're good to go. I'm not a fan of split coils, but I do like this one. And if you're on the rush and you want to record some bars with a single coily sounding guitar, you can just go there and get the job done. So the bridge and tailpiece on this guitar are Ibanez made, and as you can tell, all of the hardware here is gold just to add to the bling. And I really like the fact that this bridge has a lot of space for the saddles to travel, so if you want to like correctly intonate your guitar, you're not going to run into any issues with this one. And they also have their own proprietary quick change tailpiece, which means changing strings it's much more easier than trying to thread a string through a hole. You just like hook it down here and you're good to go. It came out really nicely set up right out of the box. I would just grab it and gig with it, but I did lower the action just a tiny bit to my own preference. And I would advise everyone, if you grab a guitar from the box, you just give it your own setup. It's not that difficult. There's nothing much that can go wrong. So just check the truss rod, check the intonation if it's on point, and yeah, lower the action to where you want it to be. First of all, start off with straightening up the neck a little bit. If you want a little bow, you can do that as well. So just try to find a good setup that works for you personally. So now let's try to get some tones out of this guitar. You heard it in the backing track. I think it sounded awesome. And yeah, the tri-sound switch is very versatile. You can get some cool tones out of it. So let's just go through all the positions and mess with the tri-sound switch a little bit. I'm going to use my pedal board. I'm actually going to use some modulations as well, because I feel like most guitar players are just like, for example, in my case, for the past couple of months, I've always thought, yeah, I'm a traditional player. I'm just going to stick to my amp and some reverb. But then one day I was playing around with the Amplitube X Gear X Vibe pedal, and I found a chorus there that I really like, and it just made me play differently. So don't be afraid to experiment with your tone. Just try different things and see what they make you feel, and just go for it. So let's start with the neck position, regular humbucker, and no pedals on at the moment, just the amp with reverb. It sounds like this. Now let's flick the tri-sound switch to the middle position, which means that we're only getting the outer coil of this humbucker. And it sounds like this. So let's switch over to the up position, which means the neck pickup is wired in parallel now, which gives you an awesome honky tone that you can use for chanks, for example. Chanks, that's how you say it. Alright, so let's try the middle position and see how that sounds. Now, I don't like the tone of clean humbuckers in the bridge, but I do love them with some gain. So let's add the rumble drive by Mooer and see what we get. let's try the neck with some gain. Now, just for the fun of it, let's take out the overdrive, add some chorus from the X5 on the neck position, and it sounds like this. I mean, I love that tone. It's just very inspiring. And again, going to my point that I said earlier, don't confine yourself to only using one tone, like one type of tone. Just try out different things and see if they get you inspired. I mean, I've been playing with reverb and chorus like for the past 2 weeks nonstop, and it just gives me that vibe that I want to. Like, for example, Pat Metheny, he plays with modulations a lot. He even has a synth pickup built into his guitar, and he just explores sounds like that, and I wanted to do that as well. I just didn't want to be confined using only amp and reverb. So yeah, go find yourself a good tone that you're gonna be inspired with. Alright, so that's gonna be it for today's video and for this guitar. And to conclude, 900 euros or around that, I think it's hard to beat. I mean, I would be, as I said, I would be really happy just owning this guitar and practicing, because practice is really important. And now that we're talking about practice, I have something really awesome to share with you guys. I actually partner up with Truefire, the learning platform for guitar, which is one of the best ones out there. You have people like Josh Smith, Kirk Fletcher, Robin Ford, Matt Schofield teaching guitar lessons on that platform. So what happened is I contacted Truefire because I was just genuinely interested in looking at their courses. And what came out of that is they gave me the course for free for a year, full disclosure on that, but they also gave me a 50% coupon for my viewers. So what you're going to be able to do is, if you go to the description, you're going to find a coupon named Krenar50 that you're going to be able to use on your next purchase on Truefire. And I think that's a really good deal, and I want to thank the people from Truefire for doing that. So again, Truefire is probably the best learning platform out there. The roster they have of players is incredible, and just the platform itself is very user-friendly. So if you're interested in that, just got a deal 50% off. So yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. I wanted to finish up with that. Let me know if you buy a course or something on Truefire, because I really want to know what are you guys learning. I mean, first thing I did is I opened up my account and I went straight to the Robin Ford lesson. So let me know what you would want to learn from Truefire. So again, that's gonna be it. I'm gonna catch you with a lot more videos coming soon. The channel is going to be really busy, so please do all the YouTube things, like, comment, subscribe, share, everything that you can do. I would really appreciate it. So until next time, I'll catch you with the next video. Have a good one. Stay safe.